Hello everyone, my name is Harjot Kaur and today I'll be presenting our work on where to recruit for security development studies comparing 6 software developer samples. Developers have received increased research attention in recent years. With varying levels of experience, skills and knowledge and well-paid jobs with heavy workloads, offering motivating incentives for their participation can be hard. Imagine a research group planning to do a security study with developers. First question, well, from where do you recruit participants? Possible solution? Look at previous security studies for different recruitment options. Alas, the list of options is quite long. Since there are so many options, perusing them for the pros and cons would be valuable for the research community. Therefore, in this work, we study the merits and demerits of different recruitment options to recruit participants with software development experience for security development studies. To do so, we first analyzed 59 papers to identify recruitment options. We then conducted a comparative online study with 706 developers across 6 samples. With our comparative online study, we wanted to investigate participants' general software development and security development experiences, skills, and knowledge, how well do samples compare, and things researchers should consider when sampling for security development studies. For the literature analysis, we selected publications in the field of usable security and privacy that conducted user studies. We focused on works published between 2016 and 2020 at the top usable security and privacy as well as human-computer interaction venues. Two authors independently reviewed the proceedings published between January 2016 and September 2020. Additionally, we compared our set of papers with the developer papers listed in two other related publications. From the remaining set of papers, we extracted the type and number of participants, recruitment options, compensation details, and the survey questions. We had 59 papers in a final set after resolving disagreements. Overall, we sorted the recruitment alternatives we found into 6 categories. However, for our study, we did not recruit participants from all of them. For example, we excluded recruitment options that varied significantly between research teams due to the location or personal network, making them unlikely to produce generalizable results. For our study, we recruited from MTech and Prolific, which are crowdsourcing platforms where people could outsource their jobs, for example, surveys to a distributed workforce. From Upwork and Freelancer.com, which are freelancing platforms where one can post jobs and wait for skilled freelancers to apply or target them based on their skills. And Google Play and computer science students, which required cold emailing. Despite being unaware of any relevant previous work recruiting participants with software development experience from Amazon MTurk, we chose it because of its general popularity within the usable security and privacy research community and to probe its viability for future security developer studies. Based on the literature analysis results, we designed, pre-tested, and conducted a comparative online study with 6 samples of developers. Our survey consisted of 5 sections, starting from introduction to questions about software development background, questions addressing participants' workplace, programming experience including experience with security, and general demographics. We performed 2 rounds of pilot studies on Prolific. As mentioned previously, we recruited participants from MTurk, Prolific, Upwork, Freelancer, Google Play, and CS student samples. As we were unable to confirm the self-reported programming knowledge of Prolific and MTech participants, we additionally added 2 programming skills screening questions validated previously by Danilova et al. And Reddit both platforms. We observed that this led to a higher data quality on MTech. Now, we present the results from our data analysis. Overall, we had 706 valid responses. Sample-wise breakdown can be seen on the screen. We found a high gender gap across all samples, with participants predominantly identifying themselves as male. With respect to age, the youngest group was CS students followed by Upwork and Prolific, while Google Play participants were the oldest. Majority on all samples studied computer science, with very less participants having a security focus, with the exception of MTurk, where 21.8% self-reported a computer security focus in their studies. Software development experience was by far most common in all of our samples. Participants were also less experienced with security-relevant areas such as reverse engineering or vulnerability research. Regarding ethnicity, we find that most participants on Prolific, Google Play, MTurk, and in the student sample reported to be white or European. With respect to programming and security experience, Google Play participants reported the highest overall development, highest professional development, as well as highest security experience. In contrast, Students were least experienced regarding both overall and professional development, while prolific participants reported the lowest security experience. Additionally, the majority of participants on Freelancer, Google Play, and Upwork reported working on software development tasks more than 20 hours per week, which fits to the findings of their commonly reported full-time status. Next, we asked our participants to rate their proficiencies in different development areas and programming, scripting, and markup languages, since these are an essential criteria for developer studies with practical tasks. Overall, MTech participants report higher rating for most development areas and some languages, although we find no single language standing out. For development areas, we see that front-end and full-stack development had high overall ratings, likely due to them being widespread areas, which is also backed up by Stack Overflow Developer Survey, in which they were among the three most commonly stated roles. Google Play participants had the highest average self-ratings for mobile development. For programming languages, we found SQL highly rated on Freelancer and HTML CSS very highly rated on Upwork. In contrast, Java was highly rated by CS students and Google Play developers, likely due to Java's classroom popularity and the basis for Android development. Proficiencies in languages like Rust followed by Go and Ruby were rated the lowest in almost all samples. Next, we inquired our participants about their security trainings and their experience with implementing specific security features. More than one-third of the participants received a security-related training at work, in almost all samples except for Prolific. Receiving a security-related training at educational institutions was highest for students. Majority of Google Play participants reported that they were self-taught, with similar high numbers on Upwork and Freelancer. On the other hand, our participants reported most experience with implementing input validation, authorization and authentication, using API keys, using encryption, decryption, and storing user credentials. Participants from Upwork, Freelancer, and Google Play reported the most experience with implementing specific security features. With respect to security-related activities and events, we found that participants more commonly attended security-related events or had previously disclosed vulnerabilities. Here, MTech participants report high numbers in comparison to other samples except for disclosing vulnerabilities. Now we move on to our recommendations. Researchers need to consider the target population when deciding for or against recruitment options. So based on our results, we discuss and provide recommendations for recruitment based on participant characteristics and specific recruitment strategies. Development experience, skills, and knowledge are commonly used recruitment criteria for secure development studies. Google Play developers have the highest development experience, but they are focused on Java. They also have high ratings for Kotlin, among others. CS students are less experienced as compared to other samples, but are proficient in languages like Java and Python. In comparison, MTech and freelancer participants report the second highest overall and professional development experience respectively. So they can be considered reasonable developer recruitment alternatives to Google Play, with the benefit of offering faster recruitment as compared to Google Play. For security experience, skills, and knowledge, freelancer and Upwork participants often reported high values, more than MTech at some instances, on security-related questions. While MTech participants reported high values on some security-related questions, we found a high number of invalid and similar answers, likely due to multi-accounting in our initial run, and we redid the sample with an adjusted screening that included programming skill questions from Danilova et al. The usage of some specific security features, for example, input validation, was most common on Upwork, Freelancer, and Google Play, which shows that they have a broad range of experience with secure development as compared to other samples. Students, as well as prolific participants, were less experienced with security. Sample diversity is also an important parameter in addition to experience, skills, and knowledge. Majority of participants were male across all samples, which is sadly usual in security research. With respect to ethnicity, participants were of white or of European descent across most samples. Ethnic diversity was better on Freelancer and Upwork. The crowdsourcing platforms, MTech and Prolific, have straightforward and fast recruitment process. We recommend MTech along with a pre-screening survey for improved data quality for larger studies with more participants where some noise in the data could be acceptable. For the freelancing platforms, Upwork and Freelancer, data is less likely to be noisy and can be used by studies with a smaller number of required participants. Recruitment is also more intuitive on Upwork, and we recommend it to recruit developers for practical coding tasks or similarly larger tasks. Distributing a survey via email is the fastest and cheapest, but it has worse response rates, and offering compensations is also more complex. Sending unsolicited email invites is increasingly perceived as spam. Additionally, certain privacy laws, such as GDPR in the EU, prohibit collecting and using non-public contact information. So here is a quick recap. Our methodology consisted of literature analysis, which informed and motivated our comparative online study with 6 developer samples. We then provide recommendations for recruitment platforms to be used in certain security study types. Thank you very much for your attention, and a big thanks to all the co-authors for their hard work and support.